Hello friends, welcome to day 4 of our Chakra Yoga Healing series. If this is your first time participating in our yoga series, I invite you to check out the day 0 video. You can find a link to that in the comment section down below. And when you're ready, find yourself a comfortable, safe space where you can relax, let go of distractions, and tune into the present moment. The theme for our day 4 Magical Motion yoga class is the element air. Air is prana, breath of life, the source of the primary nutrient sustaining our bodies. Air is an elusive element representing our mental activity and our intelligence, invigorating our senses with the invisible forces and subtle energetic winds corresponding to our emotional and physical actions. We will play with an appreciation of the element air. According to yogic tradition, air is embodied in the Anahata Heart Chakra. Located in the heart space, the Air Chakra, often referred to as Unstruck or Unbeaten, is the middle chakra in a series of 7. The Heart Chakra moves beyond the survival aspects of the lower 3 chakras, and it is related to social identity, self-acceptance, love, and it is the integrator of opposites in the psyche. A healthy heart chakra enables us to love deeply, feel compassion, and have a deep sense of peace and centeredness. If you have been following along with our Chakra Yoga series, you are familiar with our use of daily affirmations. The affirmation for today's Heart Chakra Yoga class is, I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. You might like to recite this affirmation to yourself throughout the class and throughout the course of your day. Modern yogic tradition has associated the Anahata, the heart chakra, with the color green. This vibrant, exuberant, energetic green is embodied in the heart space. And if it is at all helpful for you, I invite you to visualize this color in this region of the body as we move throughout these asanas. This is a great way to strengthen your practice, strengthen your sense of connection to the self, to the mind, the body, and the soul, gently guiding yourself with every passing moment to the breath. Perhaps taking a moment to observe any sensations that you might be experiencing in the body, any reoccurring thoughts, and simply recognizing your position as the watcher. On your next inhalation, begin to extend the arms overhead, finding length through the torso. And on your exhale, joining the palms together, lowering the hands to heart center. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths to commence practice. Gradually inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Humbly bow your chin towards the chest. Namaste. Okay, friends, let us begin facing the short edge of the yoga mat, extending the legs out in front in Dandasana, stick pose. Ground down through the sits bones, roll the shoulders back and down, engage the core, broaden across the heart space. If you would prefer to bend your knees, it might be a nice idea to place a blanket underneath the knees or underneath the hips to afford yourself a little bit more elevation. We'll begin with some gentle foot and ankle warm-ups. On your inhale, point the toes forward, and on your exhale, flex the toes towards the torso. A few times like this, flowing with the breath. You might like to create some circular rotations, moving the feet in one direction and reversing the direction, really feeling a lovely stretch along the tops of the ankles, perhaps the calf muscles. And from here we'll separate our feet slightly wider than hip width distance, and we'll begin to externally and internally rotate the legs. Just a few times to warm up the hip joints. Pairing inhalations with exhalations. Mindful movements, really seeing if you can channel your awareness to the regions of the body that are in motion. About 2 more rotations, and from here we'll keep our left leg extended, externally rotate the right hip, flex the knee, and gently guide the lateral edge of that right ankle atop of the left thigh, interlacing your left fingers between the right toes. You might like to place your right palm on the ankle for support, and begin to gently massage the toes, inviting movement into this region of the body. Again, you might like to roll the ankle out in one direction and the other, really affording ourselves a moment to nourish these key regions of the body that enable us to do so many tasks as we go throughout our day. You might like to find some butterfly wing rotations, rotating the leg up and down. Re-extend the right leg, perhaps shake the legs out once or twice, and we'll take this on the other side. Bending the left knee, guiding the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Interlacing your fingers between the left toes and finding any movements that feel right for you today. Really being mindful to broaden across the heart space. Allow the breath to pull deep into the belly, into the pelvic region, so that we're really maximizing our lung capacity. Perhaps moving the knee up and down once or twice, finding some mobility in the outer hips. Keeping that foot flexed, and we'll re-extend the legs. Well done. From here, we'll externally rotate both our legs, flexing the knees, drawing the soles of the feet together as we come into bound angle Badaknasana. If you have props handy, you might like to place a block under your outer thighs, your knees. This can be really helpful for anyone who has a really opened outer hips. It's just taking any extra pressure from the legs splaying out to the side. Finding a hand gesture that enables you to lift up and out of the torso, out of the pelvic bowl. Feeling a lovely stretch along the groin, the inner thighs, the outer hips. Breathe. 2 more gradual breaths in butterfly. And when you are ready, we will transition into a standing position. Coming into Tadasana, feet are hip-width distance apart. Shoulders are rolled back and down, core is engaged. Ensuring that we're not arching the spine or finding too much of a tuck. Really maintaining a neutral position. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. And again, stretching the torso, the shoulders. And we'll find a side body stretch, interlacing our right fingers around the left wrist, leaning over to the right as we find a lovely stretch along the left side body. Being mindful to keep the hips squared and keep both shoulders open to the front of the room. Exhale back to center, float the arms down, and we'll take this on the other side. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, grabbing a hold of the right wrist with the left fingertips, and this time leaning over to the left. Waking up the side body, the obliques, the vertebral column. One more breath. And gently returning to center. Well done. And from here we will find a bind, interlacing the fingers together, palms facing skywards. Inhale, float the heels up off the mat, raising onto the balls of the feet. Squeezing everything together. Engaging the core, finding a steady focal point. Really lifting up through the arms, whilst rolling the shoulders back and down so that we're creating space between the earlobes and the tops of the shoulders. One more breath. Exhale, release, gently lower the heels down. On your next inhale, we'll extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, cactus the arms out wide, broaden across the heart space. Really allowing ourselves to release any stored emotions in this region of the body. And joining the palms together at heart center. Again, float the arms up, join the palms together. Exhale, broaden wide, gaze up, finding a slight back bend. Hands to heart center, and again. Feeling ourselves channeling energy, clearing blockages through the Anahata, the heart chakra. Well done. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. You might like to bend the knees considerably. Finding any adjustments with your stance, leaning into what feels right for you in this moment. You might like to come into ragdoll, interlacing the fingers around opposite elbows. One more breath, we'll plant the palms down, step back with the left leg, lower the left knee down, point the left toes as we come into a low supported lunge, Vajrasana. If you have props available, it could be a wonderful opportunity to place blocks either side of that front foot, just to help you bring the earth closer towards you, really allowing you to open across the heart space, reducing any extra tension through the accessory muscles. You might like to stay with your fingers connected to the earth or extending the arms overhead, joining the palms together, squeezing the inner thighs together so that we lift up and out of the pelvic bowl. Draw the navel to the spine, steady breaths. Exhale, cactus the arms out wide, elbows are at shoulder height, palms facing skywards. Breathe. Can you broaden across the heart a little more? I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. Gently releasing the arms, framing the front foot, tuck the back toes under. Extend the leg and we'll step back into plank pose, Balasana. Core is engaged, arms are extended, squeezing the quadriceps, the glutes, the outer hips. Feeling yourself grow taller through the crown of the head and out through the heels of the feet. Can you soften the muscles of the face? Unclench the jaw. One more breath. And on your next inhale, mindfully lower the knees to the mat, Ashtanga Namaskar, 8-limb staff pose. Press up into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Really using back strength here to help you broaden across the heart, pressing down through the pubic bone, the tops of the feet, the shins. Exhale, lower down. And again, if you choose to take baby cobra, that is okay, finding any variation that facilitates ease and comfort. From here, we'll tuck the toes under, shift the hips up as we come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, adjusting the stance in any way that you need. Perhaps bending the knees considerably. You might like to pedal out the dog a few times, finding your cadence. And in your own time, finding stillness, we'll take one breath in downward dog, float up onto the balls of our feet, raising the heels. Inhale, extend the right leg, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana, three-legged dog, keeping the shoulders squared, core is strong. Tiger curl, draw the right knee towards the chest with control, engage the core, and gently lower the right foot down between the hands. Pivoting on the back foot, we'll come into Vajrasana, Warrior One, heel in, toes out. Doing your best to square the hips to the front of the mat. If you need to shorten the stance, that is okay. Arms are extended overhead, or you might like to place your hands on your hips to really facilitate that mind-body connection. Breathe. Can you sink that front leg a little lower? And we'll cactus the arms out wide, finding a lovely heart opener. Elbows are at shoulder height. Palms are facing forwards and slightly skywards. Maybe gazing up. Maybe closing the eyes. I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. One more breath. Gently float the arms down to the top of the mat and we'll step up. Left foot meets the right, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, extend the legs. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. And again, twice more, finding your rhythm. If at any stage you would like to use props, know that that is perfectly okay. It's always a good opportunity to help you ease off any extra tension and just find comfort and trust in the postures, knowing that you are safe. When you're ready, we'll ground down through the palms, step our right leg back, gently lower the right knee down, point the toes, head up, chest up, maybe keeping the arms grounded to the earth. Perhaps finding the blocks on either side of that front leg. Really feeling a lovely stretch deep into the right psoas, the hip flexors. Steady breaths. You might like to join us in extending the arms overhead, feeling yourself growing taller through the tips of the fingertips, through the crown of the head. Mindfully guiding those shoulders down away from the ears. Two breaths here. And we'll cactus the arms out wide, heart opener, back bend. Stay strong. One more breath. And gently lower the arms down to frame the front foot, tuck the back toes under. And we'll step our left leg back to meet the right, plank pose. Perhaps inviting a smile across the lips. Is the mind beginning to wander? Perhaps you're observing some reoccurring thoughts. Just checking in with the behaviors that happen to occur when we find ourselves in these challenging postures. Simply observing, no judgment, just acceptance. A few more breaths, you have got this. Stay strong, stay focused. With control, we'll hug the arms to the torso, lowering down and coming up into upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Grounding down through the palms, the tops of the feet, legs are elevated. One breath here. With control, raise the hips, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You might be feeling more open along the posterior chain, particularly the backs of the legs. Maybe lowering the heels down onto the mat. You might find it helpful to ground down a little more through the thumbs and the index fingers, helping you evenly distribute that weight. And we'll take this flow on the other side. Inhale it, float the left leg up, three-legged dog. Keeping the hips squared. Engaging the gluteus maximus, the hamstrings to help you lift that back leg. 2 breaths here. With control, shift the weight forwards, tiger curl, draw the left knee towards the chest, and mindfully place the foot down between the palms. Pivot on the back foot as we come up into Warrior One, finding any adjustments. You might find it helpful to have your arms out in front at shoulder height, or extend them overhead, it's up to you. Steady breaths. Staying in Warrior One, we will cactus the arms out wide, finding a lovely heart opener. Really channeling this energy, this pranic life force into the Anahata, the heart chakra. perhaps visualizing this color green. Sending yourself loving compassion. One more breath. Gently lowering the arms, frame the front foot, step the right foot up to meet the left, forward fold. Feel yourself mindfully softening into the back of the neck. For a deeper upper back stretch, a shoulder stretch, you might like to interlace your fingers behind your back, extend your arms. And if you're feeling opened, you might like to keep the legs extended. If your arms were in a bind, we will gently release, lowering the palms down onto the earth underneath the shoulders. We'll come into a halfway lift, so you might like to grab your blocks here, extend the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Twice more, flowing with your breath. And when you're ready, grounding down through the heels, rolling up one vertebra at a time, Tadasana. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, lower them to heart center. Lower the arms down by your side, finding a moment, finding your connection to the present. One more breath. On your next inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, lower the hands to heart center. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, bend the knees, plant the palms down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step the left leg back and the right, plank pose, shifting our hips up, downward facing dog. Breathe. Float the heels off the mat. Inhale, extend the right leg up, three-legged dog. Squeezing the glutes. How high can you lift that leg? One more breath. Shift your weight forwards, tiger curl, draw the right knee to the chest, and we'll come into Pigeon Pose, guiding the lateral edge of the right ankle just behind the left wrist. Right knee is close to the right wrist. Doing your best to square the hips. Your shin might be parallel with the short edge of your mat, or you might have your heel closer towards your left hip. That is okay. Props can be an asset here to help you find some stability without rolling onto that right hip. You might like to place a block underneath your right hip to give you a bit of elevation. Perhaps a blanket could be helpful as well. And you might choose to keep your back toes of the left foot pointed or tucked. It's up to you. We'll take 2 breaths in this upright position, allowing yourself to broaden across the heart space. And if it's in your practice, you might like to lower down onto the forearms, finding any adjustments that work for you, settling in. either staying in Pigeon Pose, or you might like to join us in Mermaid as we flex our back knee, drawing the left heel towards the back, towards the glutes, cartwheeling the left arm back to grab a hold of that foot, perhaps placing the foot between the crevice of the elbow, extending the right arm, perhaps flexing the right elbow, joining the palms together, maybe finding a bind. You might like to adopt a mudra here. This is a great posture to ignite our energy and channel healing powers into the Anahata Heart Chakra. Breathe. If you were in the bind, mindfully releasing without slingshotting the leg back, lowering it down with control, grounding down through the palms, tucking the back toes under, and we'll shift our weight up into three-legged dog, re-extending the right leg and lowering it down, downward dog. Perhaps walking out the dog once or twice. It can be nice to find some movement after these static holds. In your own time, finding stillness in downward dog. One breath here. And we'll take this transition on the other side, floating the heels up off the mat, extending the left leg, Ikapara Adho Mukha Svanasana. Shoulders are squared. How high can you raise that leg, lift those toes? With control, shifting your weight forwards, tiger curl, guiding the left knee to the chest, and setting yourself up for Pigeon Pose. This can be quite an intense stretch depending on the mobility of your hips and how much tension and emotions you store in this region of the body. So really be compassionate with yourself, recognizing that there could absolutely be imbalances across both sides of the body. So if one side feels a little bit more challenging, there's a little bit more sensation, simply accept this and see it as an opportunity to invite a little bit more love into this region of the body. We'll stay upright for a few breaths, broadening across the heart space. I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. If it's in your practice, you might like to lower down, hinging from the hips. Steady breaths, finding ease, finding stillness. You might like to join us in Mermaid Pose. We will flex the right knee, drawing the right heel towards the torso, towards the glutes, as we externally rotate that right arm, grabbing a hold of the right leg, finding any variation that works for you. Really being mindful to square the hips, find an even distribution of weight across the left and right hemispheres of the body. And with intention, mindfully releasing from the posture, gently guiding that right leg down, tucking the toes under, grounding down through the palms, coming up into three-legged dog and gently lowering the leg down. Again, finding movement if that feels right for you. From downward dog, we will gently lower our knees down onto the earth, joining the big toes together, sinking the hips back as we come into child's pose. Balasana, arms are extended out in front, one breath here. From here we'll come into Anahata puppy pose, heart melting pose. If you have props, blocks available, it might be a wonderful idea to place them under your triceps, really allowing you to broaden across the heart space, melt that heart towards the earth, perhaps joining the palms together in prayer position above the head. If you don't have props, that is okay. You can extend your arms out in front. And we want to work on keeping our knees in line with our hips, perhaps tucking the toes under. And although this is a relaxing, restorative posture, let us find a little bit of engagement as we draw that navel towards the spine, protecting the lumbar and sacral regions of the back. Breathe. If you are using props, gently place those to the side. We'll work our way up into a seated position. Crossing our legs, coming onto all fours, lowering the sits bones down onto the earth. From here we'll set up for Jono Sursasana, head to knee pose. Extending both legs out in front in Dandasana, finding length through the torso, roll the shoulders back. We'll externally rotate our left leg, flexing the left knee, and drawing the inner sole of that left foot towards the inner seam of the right thigh. Hips are squared, right foot is flexed, the kneecap is facing skywards. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. Exhale, twist the torso to the right and we'll hinge from the hips, folding forward, really working on aligning our sternum, the breastbone, with the midpoint of that right thigh. If you'd like to use the props here, that is okay. Perhaps placing them on either side of that right foot. If you have a block, it might be nice to place it on top of that right shin, allowing your forehead to rest on top of the block, playing around with the height of the prop, finding ease, letting go. This is a lovely way to invite flexibility into the lower, the mid-back, as well as the hamstrings, the calf muscle. Wherever you are in the posture, mindfully using your palms to guide you up to a seated position. Extending the left leg, finding any movement. Preparing ourselves to take this asana on the other side. Externally rotating the right hip, flexing the right knee, guiding that right foot to the inner seam of that left leg. Perhaps this is enough for you, You might like to inhale, extend the arms overhead, shift the torso to the left, hinge from the hips, fold. Breathe. One more breath. Mindfully working your way upright to a seated position, taking as much time as you like, re-extending that right leg, perhaps wiggling out the legs, internally and externally rotating the hips, whatever feels good for you. From here we will transition onto our shins, coming into Vajrasana, diamond pose, resting the sits bones on top of the heels, placing the palms in the lap, palms facing skywards. Breathe. From here I will show you Hidraya Mudra, which is a really powerful gesture for heart health. We will keep our pinky fingers extended, bending the index finger to rest the pad of the index finger close to the base of the thumb, and joining the thumb with the tips of the middle finger and ring finger. Hidraya Mudra can be practiced whenever and wherever you like. It is a wonderful gesture to acknowledge the loving power of the heart space and really help to improve our circulation and our vitality. You might like to rest in Vajrasana with the Hidraya Mudra, or join us in Sursasana, Camel Pose. We'll raise our hips up, keeping our hips in line with our knees, knees are hip width distance apart. You might choose to keep your toes pointed or tuck them under for a little bit more knee support. It's up to you. Roll the shoulders back, engage the core. You might like to start off in baby camel, and if that's enough for you, simply placing your palms on the outer side of your hips, the sacral region of your back, broadening across the heart space, finding a baby back bend. And if you'd like to take it a little bit further, grabbing a hold of the right heel with the right hand and the left heel with the left hand. Pushing the pelvis forward, working on keeping the knees and the hips in line. Using the fingertips for support to help you lift up and out of the torso, lift up and out of the lower back. You might like to lower your head back if that's suitable for your neck. Feeling a lovely expansion across the heart space. Using this as an opportunity to release any stress, any emotions, tensions that might be stagnating in this region of the body. One more breath. Mindfully guiding yourself out of the posture. And as a counter posture, we will sink our hips back, coming into child's pose, Balasana. Staying in child's pose, we'll begin to gradually walk our hands over to the right, being mindful to keep the left hip grounded towards the heel, finding a lovely side body stretch. You might like to place the left palm on top of the right hand, working your way to center. And we'll take this stretch on the other side, walking the fingertips out to over to the left. Easing in, letting go. Mindfully guiding yourself to Child's Pose. Taking 2 gradual breaths in this posture. Mindfully guiding ourselves to a seated position, we will prepare for Lord of the Fishes, Mayatsandrasana. I'll show you 2 variations, one with and without props. If you don't have props, you might like to follow along with the first variation, although it can be slightly more intense. Keeping the feet grounded, knees are bent, mindfully guiding yourself down onto the back, propping yourself up on your elbows. We are going to guide our forearms and our palms underneath our torso as we sink our head back, resting on the crown of the head. This is a lovely way to broaden across the heart space, stretch the front of the chest, and if you would like the variation with props, we are going to use 2 blocks, placing the first one closest to the back lengthwise, and we'll place the other one horizontally in the shape of a T. We are going to rest the first block somewhere between the shoulder blades, about mid to upper back, and finding a variation with the second block to rest the back of your head on it, taking any adjustments so that you can feel comfort. You might like to extend the arms out long, cactusing the arms out wide, elbows at shoulder height, palms facing skywards. Close the eyes, surrendering to this posture. I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. Mindfully guiding yourself out of fish pose. If you are using props, you might like to place those to the side as we set up for Shavasana, final relaxation. If you have blocks, it might be a nice opportunity to place these under your knees, just to relieve any tension that might be building up in the lower back. Taking any adjustments, affording yourself a moment of recognition, appreciation, and gratitude for all that you are. Realizing your completeness, your connection to this moment, to yourself. As you rest in this abode of stillness, mindfully scan the body, silently observing if there are any regions of sensation, and simply guide the breath there. Offer yourself a loving compassion as you nourish the mind, the body, and the soul. For the next few minutes, you might choose to rest in stillness, adopt a mantra of your own, or join along with today's affirmation if ever the mind begins to wander. I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. I am a channel for clear communication and self-expression. Beginning to arrive in this moment, recognizing your connection to this space, and in your own time beginning to invite some small movements into the body, stretching in any which way that feels right for you. And when you're ready, bending the knees and gently rolling over to one side into a fetal position, keeping the eyes closed. Taking as much space as you like, and when you're ready, guiding yourself upright to a seated position, placing the palms in the lap, rolling the shoulders back and down. You might like to invite a smile across the face, onto the lips. Grounding yourself in the anchor of the breath. On your next inhale, extending the arms overhead, joining the palms together. Exhale, lower the hands to the third eye center. The light and the teacher in me honors the light and the teacher in all of you. Thank you all so much for joining this Anahata Heart Chakra yoga class. Humbly bow your chin towards your chest. Namaste. You might choose to conclude your practice here, or if you would like to join us for a pranayama practice, we are going to practice Adham belly breathing. Belly breathing is a technique focusing on the basic relationship between our breath and body. This practice is available to everyone and it provides numerous benefits. Adham belly breathing incorporates proper activation of the belly and the diaphragmatic muscles, allowing for deeper breaths with increased oxygen consumption. Belly breathing increases the transportation of blood and nutrients to bones and other tissues, and releases stress and tension stored in the body, increasing physical and mental relaxation. Practice belly breathing whenever you are feeling stressed, scattered, or would simply like to relax. Focusing on the subtleties of the rise and fall of the belly will help to ground you, enhancing your capacity to focus and arrive in this present moment. You may choose to commence this practice with both hands in the lap, or you might like to place one palm on the heart space, the other over the belly. Fingers are spread wide. Take several cleansing breaths, gradually inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. When you are ready, commence inhaling through the nose. As you breathe in, observe the expansion of the belly as you gently push the tummy muscles outwards. And as you exhale through the nostrils, gently contract the belly, drawing the tummy inwards. Continue this slow and gradual cycle as you focus your attention on the belly, in particular the contraction and relaxation of the diaphragm, of the abdominal muscles. The placing of the hands on the belly and the chest enables you to determine where the breath is manifesting, encouraging you to direct the breath away from any shallow breathing or other respiratory imbalances. I invite you to practice Adham belly breathing pranayama as often as you like. It is a beautiful practice to connect you to the heart, to the soul. Taking one more gradual breath in Adham pranayama. And on your next inhale, we'll extend our arms overhead, joining the palms together. Namaste.